Welcome to Furthermore Crafting. It is a nice, brisk day here in northern Ohio. It's about 2 below, and there's a good wind whipping around. Everything's covered in icy snow. Proper wintertime stuff. Hope y'all are staying warm and healthy. Happy New Year to y'all. It is 2024 now. So today, since it is cold and we can't really do much outside, or we're choosing not to, I figured I'd go over some of my Kershaw Blur collection and the mods and upgrades and such I've done to these various knives. There's all kinds of stuff you can do to them. Kershaw's a fantastic company. The Blur is a fantastic knife. It stood the test of time for, it's got to be going on 20 years, if not more. I think it was like 2004 when they first came out with these, but they've held up. They take it. I've used Blurs for all kinds of stuff you're not supposed to use pocket knives for, and they handle all of the work. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, starting off with my personal everyday carry. I've carried this for work, I've carried it for camping, I have carried it for fun, and I've used it on all kinds of wood, work materials. It's never let me down. That is the Kershaw Blur. Blue anodized handle. I did change the blade on this one to a black wash, and I'll pull out the other one I swapped the blades out on. As you mostly know, or if you've ever dealt with the Kershaw Blurs, most of the blue blades, unless it's like a sprint run or a special thing from the factory, the blue blades usually come with that stone washed silver blade. And I dig it. You know, it's nice. I carried it like that for a long time. And then decided I wanted a darker blade on this, and I have a collection of Blurs, so why not just swap them out? So that's what I did. Had my brother and my nephew make me up nice fat backspacer in there, and I did a little refinement to it just to take some of the edges down, but it fills up the hand super nice. And I have the MXG Gear titanium clip, anodized. This is, I believe, the blurple color, because I screwed up when ordering. You gotta read, folks. You gotta read. Everybody's gotta read. But that's my everyday carry Blur, and I use the crap out of it. I have thrown, show you here, I threw some grip tape and some spots on the back. My hands are wet. I'm a mason. I work with tile and stone and mortar and all that fun, wet, goopy crap. So I have to be able to get a hold of my knife to use it. You don't want it slipping out of your hand. You can see from the edge, I keep them nice and sharp. Got no problem. You got to touch up your shaving, you can. You know, it'll help you with that. Nobody likes a dull pocket knife. So that's my everyday carry. This is the Blur that black wash blade came off of, and as you can see, I have another backspacer in it. This one's not jimped. It's the full, just the standard stock clip. But and I just threw a DLC black blade on it. But this is the knife that black wash blade came off of, and the material this backspacer is made out of is pretty cool. My nephew was messing around with his 3D printer, and he's got all kinds of fun stuff, and this is a color changing material. I'm not going to be able to get it to activate today. It is ridiculously cold out, and even though I have the heaters going in the shop, it reacts to heat, so when you warm it up, the material turns like white. It's pretty cool, you know, a little gimmicky thing. But the backspacers are second to none. They nailed they hit it on the head with the way they were doing these. But both of these are USA made Kershaw Blurs. Even though I did a blade swap, it may affect the warranty, but I never sent anything back to Kershaw anyways. I've never had to. If a part goes bad or whatever, I can usually find a part, and they're really cool as far as if you need parts for stuff, you can email them, and a lot of times they'll send you the screws, they'll send you the pivot, they'll do all that. They're cool about that, especially if the knife is discontinued, unless they don't have the materials on hand. But a lot of times they do, and they're super good company to work with. I really do appreciate Kershaw through and through. But both the blade steels are the 14C28N. I've never had a Kershaw fail on me. It didn't matter what the steel is. I'll show you some of those too as we go along. But moving on with this one, as you can see, you know, we've added the backspacer, the clip, and I did, again, a blade change on that. I'm not a huge fan of the Glassbreaker serrated blade that came on it. Not saying anything against it, just not my cup of tea. So I had that blade on an older model Blur, and I really love the grind. It's the same grind I have in one of my Alabama Damascus Blurs. That blade came off of this Blur, which I don't have a clip on or anything, and all I did was swap the blades out. And this is an older model, you can tell by the logo. It's a little different than the newer age Kershaw Blur Glassbreaker edition, but that's the Glassbreaker blade on the older model. And I mean, nothing has changed with the Blurs, including quality, but design, nothing has changed. So you can swap. I've not run into one yet where the blades can't be swapped out, if that's what you're into and that's what you're doing. But again, both are 14C28N steel. All right, this next one's a fun one. I know there's a big following and a lot of people that like these blades. The Tiger Stripe, pretty cool. And yes, mine's beat to hell because I use my knives, y'all. That's what we do. I don't baby them, I use them. But moving on, it is a cool blade though. They're super cool. This one, my brother and my nephew again, knocking it out of the park with the copper colored backspacer. I haven't put chimping in this one yet, but I'm going to. It doesn't need it, but I'm just going to do it because of the Tiger Stripe design, and I'm probably going to wind up changing out the screws to copper colored stuff just because. Pocket clip is a stock one. I just threw a little grip tape on it, getting it out of the pocket. Wet hands, you know, because like I said, y'all, I use my knives. They don't just sit on the shelf and look pretty. Most of them. Again, my brother and my nephew knocking it out with the Hunter Orange backspacer in there. And we can make these two with the lanyard hole. We don't ever use the lanyard hole. We all have Blurs and we've never used the lanyard hole, so we just blocked them off. They can make backspacers that actually have the lanyard hole if you'd like to utilize that. Now this Blur is a little different. I have not done anything but put the backspacer in, and I de-assisted it because they come, again, Kershaw, quality company, but they come with strong enough detent. You don't have to have it assisted. And I'm not a crazy big guy on assisted knives to begin with. The Blur just happens to come that way, and once you toy with them and own them for a little bit and get to know them, you can de-assist them and still function just as fine, just as good, just as smooth. It holds. They're quality stuff. Gotta love that Kershaw. All right, and last but not least for today, my personal favorite, and I don't carry it very often. Usually, if it's, you know, got the nice jeans on and the nice boots, and me and the woman are going out to dinner or something, this is one of those. I'll carry it just so I feel fancy. And I mean, it's total. You take that as you will, because it's hilarious. But the Kershaw Blur anodized blue handle Alabama Damascus blade. And this one, I went through and I ordered, see if we can get a better shot, the screws in the anodized blue. This was from this backspacer is from a different company, I believe on Etsy, and their stuff's not as aggressive as what my brother and my nephew have been making. But it still works. It fills in pretty decent. I do have to do some modifying to that. I own a couple of these, and I've had to modify both of them. Again, the MXG gear anodized titanium clip. That's a little fingerprinty because I've been handling these things. And matching screws. Super clean knife. Love this knife. Love it, love it, love it. Alright, so there you have it. The Furthermore Crafting Company Kershaw Blur collection. I've got a couple more in some boxes around here somewhere. I just got to dig them out. And I'm going to do a video later on. I have a fake S30V that did not come from Kershaw. It was a secondary dealer or what have you. And I'm going to do a video on that just to give people a heads up and show you what you're looking for in that case, because it's getting more and more of a problem, this counterfeit stuff. And that's not cool. It's not cool to steal people's ideas and designs and try to make a quick buck off of somebody else's hard work. I don't support that at all. But that's for a later time. I'll pull that video out and show you everything, the differences in the clip and the screws and the blade grind and everything. You can spot them pretty easily. You take a quick look and recognize that is not real. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, please like and subscribe. But I hope you all stay warm and stay safe. Thanks for stopping by.